Hi guys, in today's video we're going to look at energy levels and shells, atomic orbitals, and finally an exam style question.
So what are we talking about when we talk about energy levels and shells? Well, in our video about atomic structure, you'll remember we talked about these things called electrons and how they orbit our nucleus. And we looked at this little diagram and we identified these blue small subatomic particles as electrons which orbit around the nucleus. Now that really was a bit of an oversimplification, this orbiting the nucleus, because in fact our electrons are not free to move wherever they like. They instead exist as these things called shells. Now shells are an area which the electrons can orbit in, and they're an increasing distance from the nucleus. So we have multiple shells. We have shell 1, shell 2, shell 3, and so on. And the number of the shell can also be known as its principal quantum number. And that again is just sort of a really big term. So if we write that out to understand it. So if we have n equals 1, that's the principal quantum number of the shell, or really we can just call it the number of the shell. That's shell 1. We can have shell 2 and shell 3. And as we increase the number of shell, we're also increasing its distance from the nucleus. We're getting further and further away. So let's have a look at that. Here I've drawn out 3 shells, the first 3. Shell 1, shell 2 and shell 3. So again, the principal quantum number would be 1, 2 and 3. So our red dot here symbolises our nucleus and the black line is our first shell. Within our first shell we can have 2 electrons. Our second shell, which is slightly further away, we can have 8. And then again, in our third shell, which is even further away, we can have 18. Now, the numbers of electrons held within each shell aren't random, they're actually worked out by a formula, and this formula is 2n squared. So if we had n to be 3 for our third shell, we would have 2 multiplied by 3 squared, which is equal to 2 times 9, which is equal to 18. So indeed, 18 electrons. So let's have a look at what orbitals are. Orbitals are a region where electrons can be found. So when we discussed shells, we said that within the shell we will find our electrons. Well, it's even more detailed than that. Shells are made up of atomic orbitals, each of which can hold a maximum of 2 electrons. So in each shell we will have...
Hey guys, to continue watching this video and unlock hundreds of other super concise and exam board specific A-level chemistry videos, click the button. Join me today and together let's make A-level chemistry a walk in the park.